All right. Welcome to the Dome Home, which has also recently become the Dome School, homeschool, where my daughters are learning from us, apparently. So my name is Tommy Dome. I'm the Director of Evangelization at St. Basil's. And I wanted to do just a little short video here. This is only going to be 7 or 8 minutes, but it's got a couple different purposes. The first one is to give you guys a preview of some features we're trying to add to the live stream Mass to make it a better spiritual experience for you. Number two, it's also to test some of this software because we're going to be using a different camera and different audio for the Mass like we have been, but we're going to be using this software. And a funny thing happened last Sunday. We had a ton of viewers on Facebook, hopefully some of you, and that worked well. But the people who went to our parish website to watch the embedded video from Facebook, there were so many people trying to access our parish website at the same time that it crashed. And there was just like intermittent service for like a 2 or 3 hour period. And that's not good. So we downloaded some additional software to try to be able to multi-stream, which is where we're sending the stream to 2 places at once, to Facebook Live, hope you'll join us, but for YouTube as well, YouTube Live, so that our parishioners who don't have Facebook can still go there. They're going to bypass our parish website altogether because YouTube's servers can handle a rush. So those are the things we're trying to test out. But I want to show you some of the things. The first thing is not going to give you a more spiritual experience at all, but I like it, and I'm kind of a geek on this because, you know, in my previous life before I was at St. Basil's, I was in the seminary a couple years, but then before that, I was in college for video production. So I love this stuff. This stuff is so fun. And a small little touch that is totally unnecessary and will not make this a more spiritual experience for you is for about 5 seconds after Father Walt first walks in, we're going to throw that up on the screen, okay? Just in case you forgot who Father Walt is, or don't remember his job, or never really knew how it is that you spell the last name Jenny. That's going to be there, and that's just me being a geek. But the things that hopefully will help your spiritual experience of a live stream Mass are these. Luckily, the first reading is short enough that it could fit on one slide. So that will be there so you can follow along. You can not only be hearing it, but also reading it, taking it in like that. The Psalm's going to be up there too, with the response and the verses, so you can follow along and sing along at home. That'll take us into the second reading, which is just barely short enough to also fit on one slide. I know the words are getting small, and after that, we're going to come back to the live feed for the whole liturgy of the Eucharist. And after Father Walt receives Holy Communion, at that time, of course, you're invited to pray a prayer of spiritual communion because you cannot at that time receive Jesus sacramentally. So I'll be putting this up on the screen, and we'll have, I don't know, maybe 45 seconds or a minute of silence there for you to pray that. It's a very important time there. Maybe Nancy will put some instrumental music in the background before we do the reflection song. So those are some of the main features we're using to try and improve the Mass and the experience, and to make sure that you're able to actually watch it and not be on a website that's overloaded. But on the bumper intro graphic for this video, it said special feature, sneak peeks and special feature. So here's the special feature, all right? Obviously the greatest special feature is Jesus, Lord of the universe. But for our parish community, we've got this. This is what we're planning right now. Now think back to when you used to go to Mass in the church. After Mass concludes, you step out of the pew, genuflect, you head to the gathering area, and there you see Father Walt, and you shake his hand, and you exchange a little chit-chat. Well, we're not going to be doing a virtual handshake, but he is going to be in the physical gathering area, and we're going to try and have a virtual chit-chat, okay? So, right after Mass concludes, I'm going to be throwing this little short video just to buy us some time up on the screen. And what's going to happen is, at that time, Miles Rapkin without whom his generosity and equipment and knowledge, none of this live stream stuff would be happening. He's going to be grabbing the tripod at this time with the camera, all right? But that video is going to be up, so you're not going to see this happening. He's going to grab the tripod, run it out to the gathering area, adjust the aperture, adjust the focus, adjust the white balance, re-level it if he needs to catch us coming back to the live feed for Father Walt. And we're going to ask Father Walt some fun questions, okay? Just like you would in the gathering area at one of our masses where everyone is physically present. So what I'm asking you to do is come up with a fun question, not a theological stumper, but some sort of fun question, and leave it in the comments of this video. And I'll pick out 4 or 5 of those questions, fun ones, and I'll give you a shout out, whoever asked it. And I'll ask those questions to Father Walt, and he can sort of give a personal update and answer them, and that'll be just a nice personal touch for you guys to see him in that sort of in that dynamic. So the countdown screen that we're going to have before Mass begins is going to look like this. It's a little different this week. It's going to have that fancy countdown timer like we had before. Social media channels are in the lower right. In this sticker for you Facebook people, up in the upper right, that yellow sticker, that's reminding you to share the video as soon as you see it live. In the middle, at the top, are some tips on how to participate fully in the Mass. And then that purple sticker in the upper left reminds you, hey, stick around. After Mass concludes, within just a minute, we're going to have Father Walt answering your questions. So I hope that makes sense. And like I said, we are working to try and make this the best experience we can all have. Even though we're apart, we can still be united in this way. Maybe you're wondering why I have such a fancy microphone. Well, that's because I brought all our equipment home, so I could do as much stuff here as possible, since none of us are going into the parish office really anymore. And this is what we use for our podcast. Oh, you didn't know we had a podcast. Thanks for bringing it up. So we have homilies, talks, stories, audio Bible, interviews, a great variety of content, really. So if you are quarantined, you could listen to some great content, great Catholic content. It's fun, too. So you can search for St. Basil Church-Brecksville in your favorite podcast app. Or you can travel to this site right here, basilgreat.podbean.com. But subscribing through a podcast app would be better. Well, that is it. So I'm just reminding you to come up with a fun question for Father Walt. Leave it in the comment of this video. And that's it, my friends. Thanks for watching. And can't wait to see you live streaming on Sunday. And can't wait to see you in person soon.